Somewhere in the rural area of South Carolina, a man and a woman were about to be married. This couple were too poor to afford anything too fancy, so much of the wedding supplies were bought at thrift stores or second-hand stores. The last item they bought was the wedding dress, and they only had about $200 left to spend. So the soon-to-be bride went to a pawn shop to buy a dress. The pawn shop had a very pretty wedding dress for the amazing price of $50. Who would want to say no to that offer? A few days later, the couple had their wedding. It was perfect. The wedding reception went perfect, and everybody danced to their heart's content. The groom and bride danced most excitedly, since this marked the spot where their lives officially intertwined. Each had perspired their fair share of sweat. Just a few days later, the wife had become severely ill during their honeymoon. They could not afford a doctor, so they decided to buy over-the-counter medicine. After a week of suffering, the wife had finally passed away. The husband became depressed, and after another few days of wallowing in sadness, he had taken out their life insurance and soon collected the money. He bought the best doctor he could to find out what happened to his lovely wife. The doctor had explained that his wife died from excessive amounts of embalming fluid that entered her system. The husband looked at him with a confused expression. He explained everything that he could remember about what happened. "Your wife bought a dress from a pawn shop, and the pawn shop bought it from an undertaker," the doctor had said. "The undertaker would embalm a body, and when the funeral service was over, he would go back and take the valuable things off the body, in this case a wedding dress. When your wife sweat, the body absorbed the embalming fluid." The husband was in complete shock. He went home later that weekend to bury his wife. On Sunday, the widower committed suicide, unable to cope with the loss of his beloved. The undertaker embalmed and buried his body, only to come back later to take his suit, his watch, and his ring. He sold these all to a pawn shop. Later that evening, a gentleman came in looking for a suit to wear for his wedding.